Hi guys, welcome back to Hairdryer Treatment with me, Soph. We're back on the Richard's Rambles today, and I can see a lot of you already tuning in. There's been a lot of news coming out today about obviously transfers regarding United, regarding Arsenal. Zaha's being linked with Everton as well. There's a lot going on aside from United because I already mentioned it in the briefing in my tweet. There's a lack of movement at United. There's some rumours going around, but how much I believe them, I'm not actually true. They're true. I'm not actually sure. And I'm going to have a bit of a chat with you guys and see what you guys think. But first, the breaking news. I'm going to start with Arsenal because obviously Nicolas Pepe. Apparently, we were linked with him. I genuinely don't think we were ever in for him, but he's obviously a promising attacking player. He's been linked now. Apparently, Arsenal are in talks with him right now. And it looks like they're going to be getting him. Napoli are the other team as well, who are obviously close to getting him. But it seems that Arsenal might have just sealed that deal. Now, in terms of Arsenal signing Pepe, I'm not necessarily jealous of the fact of that because, like I said, I don't think we were in for him in the first place. I genuinely didn't see that happening. But I do feel like at the minute, Arsenal's transfer business, they've made, 3 signings now in the last few days? Yes, arguably, I know one of them's a loan. But they're getting business done. Tierney as well, apparently he's going to be going there. They do need to obviously strengthen defensively, which is why this Pepe move is questionable because they definitely need to strengthen at the back. Obviously, looking at attackers at the minute. Hammer's chatted in the chat, hope it good. But yeah, I think it's a bit of a questionable one. They're going for an attacker rather than a defender. But if they still get Tierney and they get another centre back, then of course you can argue that their business has been quite efficient, especially over this last week or so. Whereas you turn to obviously United, and we're all pulling our hair out at the minute because Maguire seems to be the guy that we're getting. Why is it taking so long? Bruno Fernandes has been playing to Manchester now for as long as I can remember. That's obviously not happening as well. And I saw some news come out last night where people were claiming that he's booked in for a medical. He's due to have a medical at United. And personally, I don't know if there's any truth in those rumours. Of course, I would love it to be true. I would love it to happen. Bruno Fernandes is a player that I've wanted at United now for a long time. But it seems like, they leaked obviously to the press recently to Sky that we were never really bothered about him. We scouted him, but we're not really in for him. He's not a priority for us. It should be a priority in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think regarding Bruno Fernandes. He's someone who I'd love to see at United. Milinkovic-Savic, obviously, went a bit quiet on the front of Savic, but all of a sudden, that's piped back up again. And people believe that if we do end up getting Savic, we may end up getting Bruno as well, but Pogba will be going out of the club. He'll ultimately be a replacement for Paul Pogba. And for me, I've been really honest regarding Paul Pogba. A lot of people feel I've got an agenda against him. I completely haven't. My opinion is with Pogba, as with any other player, if they want to be out of the club, if they want to move on, if the heart is not set on Manchester United, then they should go, and we should be able to cash in and get as much money as we can, or obviously as many replacements as we can for that person. So it's not just against Pogba, it's about anyone. And if Pogba isn't settled at United for whatever reason, if he doesn't want to be at the club, then he should go. But we need to replace him. We need to replace him because there's no doubt about it. Paul Pogba has got some quality talent. On his day, he's definitely one of the best players in the world. But for me, we haven't seen it enough at United. Is it because he needs more players in the middle, more quality players should have stayed in the middle with him? Who knows? But for me, we haven't seen it enough at United. So it's an awkward one, really. But if Paul Pogba goes, and if it is because Savic is coming in, we do need to get Fernandes as well, in my opinion. And like I say, Maguire should have already been done. Now, another one I've seen people commenting on it. Obviously, Romelu Lukaku, he wants out to United. He wants to go and play in Italy. His first touch is already there, if you ask me anyway. But he wants to go and play in Italy. Obviously, Inter Milan was the team that was being spoken about. That was the team who looked destined to get him. All of a sudden, Juventus have piped up, and apparently Dybala could be part of that deal. So we could be getting Dybala as a swap ultimately for Romelu Lukaku. Now, I tweeted it earlier. If we're keeping Paul Pogba and we get Dybala, that link-up could be dynamite. Those two playing in the same team together in the Premier League, I think, could be a fantastic link-up. Let me know what you guys think about that. Obviously, Dybala, on his day, he's another one, really, I think he's fantastic. He doesn't really get in the Argentina team. He hasn't been starting for Juventus, but look at the players that he's also got ahead of him. He's got lots of Ronaldo there, so you have to kind of give him that as well. He's got Messi, obviously, for Argentina, so I think people need to kind of imagine that as well. But I think Dybala at United, I would take that deal for Lukaku. I think Lukaku's going to go either way anyway. So if we could get someone like Dybala, someone obviously with quality in, then that'd be fantastic. I still do worry though, if Lukaku goes, I still feel that we might come short on the goal scoring front because we can't rely on Rashford. That's definitely for sure. We cannot rely on him being consistent in front of goal all season. And so for me, we might come short on the goal scoring front, and that's my worry. If we get rid of Lukaku, I still worry that we might need to replace him. However, if we do get someone like Dybala in, the way I see us playing is maybe with Pogba, obviously playing as one of the holding midfielders, maybe with McTominay, who knows. And then just in front of him, we're probably looking at Dybala playing in that 10 role. Then which allows, obviously, a front three. So maybe it would be James, Martial, Rashford, or obviously you could put Greenwood in there as well, who I'd definitely like to see playing more next season. And maybe we could have a front three where they're intertwining, where it's more fluid, where we haven't really got an out-and-out striker as such. We've got 3 players going forwards who have got pace, who obviously the movement intertwining, a bit like City do, where there's got a lot of free run going forwards really, and I think that would be a really exciting front three to see at United, with Dybala just in behind them as well, an exciting front four. And I think if Dybala comes in, that's the way it would go. Let me know what you guys think, because I've been trying to work out how he would fit in. A lot of people are saying as well Dybala could play on the right wing. I don't want to see another Mata situation where a player who plays best centrally in a number 10 position is being forced out wide, because you do not get the best out of them, and that's my concern there with him. See a lot of Arsenal fans giving it the beginning of the chat there. They're excited at the Pepe signing, and rightly so, you should be. You know what? I think he's definitely an up-and-coming player. He's definitely a bright attacking talent, and I think he'd be a good signing for Arsenal. However, one thing I will say is defensively, you've still got to come under question. I think that would be the area where, if I was obviously looking at my squad at United at the minute, we need to strengthen defensively, and as do Arsenal. And I think priorities need to be sorted first, which is why I think this Maguire deal needed to be sorted earlier. Let's see what else people are saying. David Charlton agrees with a Mata comment. Obviously talking about him being forced out wide. I love Juan Mata, but no way is he a winger. And for the majority of his United career, that's where he's been forced to play. And I don't think that is the best way to go about things. Hi, long time no see. Hope you're all well and having a good break from work. So Daniel, I am. Thank you very much. I would be feeling much better if United get some of these signings in, rather than waking up to new rumours every day. But I'm doing very well, thank you. This says even De Ligt had a poor game yesterday. De Ligt hasn't had the best start to his Juventus career, but people are judging him on that already. I'm not going to do that. I think he'll be one of the best centre-backs in the world. He just needs time to settle and he'll be fine. Mr. E says like, share, subscribe. People, he's spot on. Please go and do that. I appreciate your support. Arsenal need a winger. They also need some defenders as well. But Pepe, like I say, I'm not begrudging that signing. I think he's an exciting player. A good signing for Arsenal. But I genuinely don't think that United were ever in for him. I don't think that was ever a possibility. But Arsenal, obviously, they were rumoured that they want Zaha. Zaha was the player that they were going to get. That was going to be their winger that they're signing. It looks like he's going to be going to Everton now. And I want to talk about Everton because obviously they nailed David Gomez really, really early in the transfer window. Now they're going to be looking at getting Zaha. And for me, that is an exciting signing. You've already got Richarlison there, who's an absolute baller on his day. And I think they're forming a really, really good side, Everton. And United are going to be careful because we're looking over our shoulders right now. If you look at the movement that other clubs are making, Leicester, another one that needs to be mentioned, Wolves already have got a strong squad. We need to strengthen our team desperately, and I'm worried that we're going to be overtaken. We're already so far behind the top, but the teams just behind us that seem to be strengthening and investing in the right places. But we're just lacking that at the moment, and I'm hoping that we're going to have a really strong end to the window. But I know that's me being really optimistic, and that hope is the key word. I'm hoping. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but fingers crossed for that, because I'm genuinely worried about the teams that are coming up behind us. We need a centre-back, all out for Maguire. Do you agree, Sophie? Maguire seems to be our best bet right now at getting a centre-back. I genuinely think that move is doable. We could definitely get him. So Maguire would be my first choice. He's proven, obviously, in the Premier League. Boye has now got injured as well, which is another topic that I wanted to talk about, because I've had enough now of Boye's injuries. Like I say, I feel sorry for him. Of course I do. But we've given him far too many chances. He's far too injury prone. And most of his injuries, people won't like it when I say this, but most of his injuries, if you ask me, are from him being too erratic. Let's face it, he dives in far too much. He's far too erratic. And when it comes off, you think it's a crunching tackle and it's absolutely fantastic. But like the injury the other day came from him sliding, came from him getting wrong-footed, came from him diving in and being too erratic. And a lot of his injuries come from that. And it's horrible to say it, but I think his time is up at United now. We need to strengthen. Tuanzebe, for me, should be given a nod over Boye now, because at least he's fitter for longer. But yeah, it's for me, centre-back needs to be our priority. As much as we want to get the attractive, creative players in, for me, centre-backs need to be improved on. We cannot rely on the Chuckle Brothers again for another season. And like I already said, Boye's injured again. I know we've got likes of Tuanzebe back, but for me, I would like to see Harry Maguire as a leader, and he's proven in the Premier League, and that would be the signing that I'd be going for first, above anyone else at the minute. Boye has let me down, says Sully. MUFC fans view says, hi, Soph. Hi, hope you're good. I saw a little intro on your channel. It looks really cool. Make sure you go and subscribe to their channel as well, guys, if you're a United fan. Let's see what other people are saying. Zaha and Wan-Bissaka linking up would be unstoppable. It would be a fantastic right-hand side, definitely. Wan-Bissaka already is just blown me away with the start he's made in his United career. I know we've been playing, obviously, in pre-season and the friendly games, but I think he's looked absolutely fantastic. He's given us a right side of game, which I think we just lacked for so long. So, yeah, I'm really impressed with the Wan-Bissaka signing. And I really like James, and I commented on this because a lot of people were labelling him as the worst signing ever for United and things like this already, and it's shocking. I think he's absolutely rapid. His pace is electrifying. But the other thing that he has got, James, is that hunger to get the ball back. If he loses it, he is constantly trying to get the ball back. You can't teach a player to have that desire and that work rate. He's just got it, and that's what I love about the kid. And I wish him all the best at United. And he's the kind of signing that I wanted us to make. And Daniel James, I'm really excited by. So yeah. Our two signings so far, I've got to say, I'm happy with, but it's just not enough. Not enough at the minute, definitely. Paul says, hi Sophie, I can't see us signing any more players. I don't trust our board. And Ed, yeah, I agree. I don't trust the board. That's where the book stops, I'm afraid, at the board. I'm hoping that Ollie does get the back, and I'm hoping, like I say, we do get a strong end to the window. But for me, the business needed to be done a lot earlier. And the fact that it hasn't been, I don't want us to rush by, I don't want us to panic by anymore. It should have been done earlier. There's no excuse for that. I know Ed Woodward went away on a holiday and he's now back apparently staying at home to sort business out. Well, boo-hoo him. He should have got the business sorted early when you got a club in crisis. But we all know what happens. Manchester United is a business. They're still making money and they'll continue to still make money. And that's the way it works. Realistically, the football and the standard of football doesn't really bother them too much as long as they're still lining their pockets. And it's a horrible situation to be in. Burham says, why do you not come on the United stand anymore? I'm always available to come on the United stand. Whenever I am asked, I will be on the United stand. I still talk to Mark quite regularly, and if he wants me on there, I will be on there. Michael agrees that Maguire is important for us to get. Maguire is a good striker, and we can get top 4, if not 6th, 7th, or even 8th. Yeah, I agree. Maguire has to be our priority now as centre-back, that leader. And then, yes, we can start to... If Lukaku goes and Dybala comes in, and obviously that's already part of that, the attacking system sorted. But if Lukaku goes, for me, I'm worried that we're not going to get the goals. We need to get someone in. We can't rely on Rashford, as I've already mentioned. But we might not be playing with an 8-8 striker. We might be playing with, obviously, 3 forwards who are intertwined, which will be exciting because we've got a lot of pace going forwards, and that's one thing pre-season has taught us so far. We have looked exciting going forwards, and for me, Martial playing centrally, we get the best out of him. I think he's better as a striker. So, yeah, I would like to see him playing more centrally under Ollie next season. If Pepe does indeed sign for Arsenal and we don't do any business, we're screwed, says Darwin. So what other people are saying. Sophia is still hoping for 2 or more signings. I'm hoping for at least 2 signings, yes, maybe even more. Just don't get my hopes up like that. So it's plot twist, Timo Werner signs for United on deadline day. I would absolutely love that, but that's not going to happen. I'm not even going to attempt that. That's not going to happen. Paul says, hey, was your dad doing with Alexa? If you didn't see that on my Twitter the other day, my dad, it was his birthday and Thursday, and he had a present. The present he got was an Alexa off my mum. First thing he does is send me a voice message of him recording, asking the Alexa who is better, Manchester United or Wolves. And of course, it repeats all the results from last season, all the games that I went to as well, sadly. And then at the end of it, he says, yeah, that's all I needed to know. Wolves are the best. So yeah, go and check that out. He literally mugged me off for the present. I went mad at my mum. I was like, what did you buy in that? But it's all banter. And I'm hoping that United obviously help me out this season because I cannot deal with that again. Lewis says top 4 is still possible this year. I hope Ollie has drilled his style of play into the players. Yeah, well, one thing I immediately noticed watching us in pre-season, like I say, it's pre-season, so take it with a pinch of salt. But obviously we can still read into the way that we're playing, and we're pressing far, far higher as a team. We've got obviously a higher press on. We've been winning the ball back higher up the pitch. Dan James is a prime example of that. With his pace, he is very, very useful at nicking in and intercepting the ball high up. And obviously, if you win the ball higher up, then obviously you're on the counter-attacking and more dangerous, but closer to the opposition's goal. It's not rocket science. And I think that we've definitely been trying to press higher up the pitch. That's one thing I've noticed under Ollie. Last season, those questions over the players' fitness, they didn't look sharp enough. We looked kind of off the pace, which could have been why the ball movement was a lot slower. We definitely look a lot fitter and a lot sharper this pre-season. And like I say, it's pre-season. Quite often we'll have fantastic results pre-season, then we go and lose to Burnley, for example. So, yeah, take it with a pinch of salt, but we have looked a lot sharper. We're definitely pressing much higher up the pitch, and that is obviously a system that Ollie is going for. And with the pace going forwards, like James, Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, we can do that definitely. Sophie, what about the latest reports of Bruno Fernandes? I am really tired of hearing all the rumours now. We should sign him and Maguire and Savage if Pogba leaves. What do you think? Yeah, I agree completely with that comment. If Savage comes in, a lot of people believe that will be the exit door for Pogba. He's the guy who's going to be coming in to replace him. But of course, we're still that kind of creative flair in the middle, which is where Bruno Fernandes comes in. What I will say about that is, I think Bruno Fernandes, I don't think it's going to happen as much as I want it to. Like I say, he's been on a plane to Manchester now for as long as I can remember. As much as I would love him at United, I just don't see that happening. I think we've left it too late, if I'm honest. Maguire is the player that I would say we'll get in now before the end. Maybe there is some truth in the Lukaku Dybala swap, and I've already said where I think Dybala would fit into our team. But of course, you've got to also think about the fact that Dybala was linked with Spurs, and he looked very, very set on going to Spurs not long ago as well. So there's a lot of rumours swirling around regarding United. As always, every weekend there seems to be a big story breaking out just to try and keep us engaged over the weekend, and nothing really comes of it. So stay tuned for that. I don't see much happening, but I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up with Maguire and maybe Longstaff to finish our transfer window, because that just would not surprise me at all. And would you be happy with that, United fans, if we ended up getting Maguire and Longstaff to finish off? Obviously, we've always got James and Wan-Bissaka. Do you think that is a good enough transfer window, given the state of things at the club already, and given the state of the teams around us who are obviously signing quality players as well? Is that enough for us next season to get back into the top four? That's the question I'm throwing out to you guys. David Saitaway says, no, we need more midfielders. Cal says, no, not at all as well. Bear in mind, if Longstaff comes in, maybe that means we still keep Pogba, though. Pogba still stays at United. For me, I don't think that's quality enough. I think we need another creative player in there like Bruno Fernandes. I keep referring to him, I know, because he's the guy that I want, but I don't see it happening. And I'm being realistic here. I think Maguire and Longstaff could be the two players that we end up getting, and that's what we're made to settle with. Now, Longstaff, I'll be honest, I don't really know too much about him. I know he's a bit of a ballsy midfielder, plays centre mid for Newcastle, young, up-and-coming talent. But at the minute, that's the sign we should be looking at. I agree, young and up-and-coming talent, but we also need a bit of quality in there. We're in dire times at the minute at United, and like I've already said, there's teams around us who have got quality players incoming. Do we still need more than that? And I genuinely think that Longstaff and Maguire will be the two that we get. We obviously got McTominay in there as well, but McTominay, I got a lot of stick for this last season. I defended the kid. I said I like him. He's not a glamorous player, which a lot of United fans obviously want at the club. He's not a glamorous player, but he's the kind of player that you need in your club. He's a ballsy midfielder. He's hungry. He can play. The kid can play as well. He really can. And he does look for the forward pass, different to the likes of Matic, who I think is too slow and constantly looking to pass it sideways. I do think that McTominay looks for the forward pass, and I do rate the kid, and I got stick for saying this last season. He's not the glamorous signing that everyone wants, but I think he's definitely a talent in the middle there, and he does the job for United. But I got stick for saying that, and we'll see. I think McTominay's going to feature a lot next season, and I think we'll see more of the kid, and I think he'll prove a lot of people wrong. I genuinely do. Cal says, do you think Greenwood will play a lot this season? I hope so. He's impressed definitely on the pre-season tour. I hope he gets a lot more minutes in the first team. Obviously, the kid is a natural finisher. A lot of people comparing him to Van Persie with the way that he plays. I'm not going to big him up too much because I think we're terrible for doing that, overhoping players too much. But Greenwood, for me, is ready. He needs to be given more time in the first team. It's just a matter of fact of whether he's going to be playing centrally or if he's going to be given a slot on the right-hand side when he is given the time. For me, he's a striker. The kid is a striker. He's a natural finisher, and I would love to see him playing more in the first team next season. And another player I'm excited to see is Chong. I know he didn't feature in the last game. He had a bit of a knock, but I thought when he came on, I think it was against Inter Milan, I thought he absolutely destroyed them. He looked fantastic. He tore them to shreds, realistically. And like I say, it's pre-season. I do get that. But I think the kid has got natural talent where he's direct, he'll run at a player, he's fearless, and that's what I love about him. So I want to see a bit more of Chong next season as well. Pistons just literally said that as well. Chong was amazing in pre-season. I'm thinking tight arse Woodward is going to try and put all his eggs in one basket and not sign a new forward. I agree. I think we're going to rely on the likes of Rashford, Martial, Greenwood and James going forwards. And like I said, there's a lot of pace there, but is there consistency in goal scoring? Probably not. Martial is the best finisher out of the lot, which is why I think he should be playing more centrally. Right, guys, so we've had a bit of a recap about all the rumours going on at the minute and how much I think there is truth in that. I genuinely think we're going to end up with Maguire and possibly Longstaff to finish off our transfer window, so I'm not really entertaining the Dybala rumours. Lukaku, I think, will leave. I think he'll go to Inter Milan, and we'll see if that money is then used for the Maguire signing. But yeah, Maguire and Longstaff will be the two. I don't think Bruno Fernandes is coming. I genuinely don't, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope that I got egg on my face after that, and I'm completely wrong because I'd love to see him come in. I don't see it happening. In terms of Arsenal signing Pepe, I think is a good signing. They're being very efficient this week, and I'm just hoping that we have an efficient week towards the end of this transfer window as well at United, because we definitely need to. I'm not having us being outspent by Arsenal. That just cannot happen, I'm afraid. Not when we're in dire state that we are, and not when we are promised this rebuild. Something needs to happen, and happen quickly. But thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I always love talking to you guys in the chat. Please make sure you hit that sub button and drop the like on the video as well. And yeah, have a good Saturday. Enjoy, and fingers crossed that we do get some signings very, very soon. Cheers, guys.